Welcome to my brand new video series where I am going to document my journey to trying to make $10,000 per month. For this video series, I'm going to choose Banker EA from teampower.com because it is highly customizable. There's a lot of configurations and functions in there that let you build really good portfolios. You can use trend trading strategies, mean reversion, you can use grid martingale or single take profit and single stop loss. When it comes to Banker EA, I am a total beginner, so I'm going to probably make lots of mistakes while I try to build up a sustainable and consistent portfolio, but you're welcome to watch me on my journey. When you sign up for a subscription at Team Power, you get 5 licenses, but honestly, I didn't want just to be able to test 5 different set files. I wanted to be able to test a lot of them because I want to really nerd out on the analytics. So what I did is I used my first 2 licenses and I added 25 set files in there provided by Darren, and the last 3 accounts I added 32 set files of my own that I optimized, so total up I have 57 set files tested. In order to track 57 set files, what I did was I set up all my MT4 terminals and I wrote a script that runs every hour that shoots all the data to a database, and then I extracted the data to a dashboard. And I understand that this is not a setup that everyone will do in order to track all the set files that they want to do. It's just because I am super nerdy and I have a whole bunch of questions that I want answered in the shortest time possible. This is the private dashboard I've built for myself to analyze the 57 different strategies and set files that I have going. At a high level, I've got 4 separate charts. The first chart up the top is a list of all the different strategies, and each line represents their profit. At the bottom right below that is the drawdown, separated again by different strategies. And at the bottom, I've got the profits combined across all the different strategies and the drawdown combined across all the different strategies. But when you look at it combined like this, it's a bit messy and we really don't know what we're looking for. The first question I want to ask is short versus long optimizations better? From the videos that I've watched from Darren, I understand short optimizations is for when you're taking challenges from prop firms, which I am not doing, and long optimizations is more for funded accounts or for your own private trading, which is what I want to do. So from the data that I've got, Darren sends out set files every few months. So his last optimization, which was done about a month ago, he used 6 months, whereas the optimization that I did probably about 1.5 months ago was using 4.5 months of optimization. So Darren's is longer and mine is shorter. And from the files that were sent out, Darren operates based on our 100K account. So his drawdown historically in the optimizations is between 5K and 8K. Whereas for me, I am trying to trade with much smaller accounts. So my optimizations have been based on $200 to $500 worth of drawdown historically. In the dashboard, I've already filtered it out by Darren's set files only, which is a total of 25. And what we're doing is looking for the big drawdowns. So I can see here that there was a New Zealand CAD drawdown that went into about $30,000. Apart from that, you've got here the pound US, which resulted in about $5,000 of drawdown, which is fine because that is in line with the optimized settings that we saw historically. Aside from that, there were 4 against trend USD Japanese yen strategies that ended up blowing up a 100K account because they all went into drawdown at about 30K each. So I did have to pump more money into account number 2 to be able to continue testing. So far, the key takeaway is that the US Japanese yen against the trend strategies had some pretty big drawdowns. And generally speaking, I've seen some funny business in the Japanese yen space lately, so I might just exclude that from my live trading. And apart from that, you've got the New Zealand CAD, which had a big drawdown, which is pretty okay. This is 1 set file out of 25. In terms of probability, that's pretty good. The rest of the settings did do well, and the drawdowns were comparable to the optimized results. Now I filtered it by my own optimized set files, and I can see one reasonably big drawdown here. Again, USD Japanese yen, the culprit. So I'm going to keep this one out of my live trading. So if I take that strategy out of the picture, so we can take a look at all the other strategies. And here again, we're looking at the drawdown. Remember, I've optimized it by about $200 to $500. Anything above $500 means it has gone outside the range. And I can see gold has gone to $2,500 in floating losses. Almost $4,000 in floating losses, and New Zealand USD has also gone outside the range, quite a few outside the range. So potentially my settings were way too conservative, and the real results mean you need a much bigger account than $500 to trade. Which is totally fine, because if you look at the combined profits below, and we're excluding USD Japanese yen, all up on my strategies made a total profit of $12,000 with a largest drawdown of $8,000 combined for all the strategies. The key takeaway here is that with longer optimizations, your forward testing results is more likely to reflect what your backtesting drawdown shows. Next, I want to look at portfolio building, because I would never trade 57 strategies altogether in one portfolio like that. How are they correlated? Back to the dashboard, and if you take a look at the strategy names on the right hand side, I filtered this by Darren's strategies only. You can see you've got 2 against the trend strategies, and logically you wouldn't have both of them in the one portfolio. But let's add them together and see if they are really correlated. And I can already tell from this chart that the Euro US 2 against the trend strategies are exactly the same almost. Both profit lines look exactly the same. And if I click down below to the drawdown, because they overlap, it's a bit hard to see. This is one drawdown chart. Pay attention to this bit and this bit here. I'm going to click on another drawdown bar chart, and you can see the same areas of the graph show the same drawdown. So when you're building a portfolio, it doesn't make sense to have 2 Euro USD against the trend strategies. But that doesn't happen all the time. Here I filtered it by 3 GBP trend strategies, and they're all shown in different colors, the blue, orange, and the red. You can see they are slightly similar, but not overly correlated. And especially if you're looking at the drawdowns, sometimes they are slightly correlated, but not something that I would be concerned about compared to the Euro USD strategies. But let's confirm that individually. Here we see a $487 in individual drawdowns, and we scroll down below. The total drawdown when you combine all 3 pound USD trend strategies is $943, which in the grand scheme of things isn't too bad. So when you combine all 3 strategies, I see a drawdown of $1,900 and $1,000 for all 3 combined strategies. If we're not going to use 2 Euro USD against the trend strategies in one portfolio, let's just pick one, and then we're going to pick one range strategy, and we're going to pick one trend strategy. Remember, this is on a 100K account, and what would the past 1 month of trading look like? We've made a total profit of $2,300, and the drawdown is $5,500, which is not bad considering this is a 100K account. But let's see if we can improve those odds. Next, I'm going to pick the 2 Aussie Swiss franc strategies, one against the trend and one range. So our profit now is 3,000 and our drawdown is 3,000. So a 1-to-1 relationship between our profit and drawdown is pretty good, I would say. I would be happy with using this Aussie Swiss franc portfolio going forward. And it doesn't look like the 2 different strategies are correlated. Next, I'm going to build a pound US. So one range strategy, one trend strategy, and that is all. And our profits now is $8,000 of profit and a $8,000 worth of drawdown. So again, a 1-to-1 ratio, which is not too bad for live trading. Last of all, with the gold, there's 3 strategies only. So let's add them and see what our profit would have been. We made a profit of $1,500 and our drawdown, a very impressive drawdown of only $336. So I'm going to use these 3 set files for my live trading. When I was analyzing these set files, I noticed most of them had reasonably small lot sizes, which was fine, but there were a handful that had really big starting lot sizes. And remember, we're using a grid martingale, so starting at 3 lots and increasing is highly uncomfortable for me. So I wanted to take a look at how these 3 have performed in the past month. First up, we've got a Euro US trend strategy, and this one started at 3.36 lots, and in the past month it's made $806 with a drawdown of 5,500. So this one I'm quite uncomfortable with. If I was going to trade live with this particular account, I would reduce the lot size dramatically. Even though the profits is good, the drawdowns is much too big for my liking. Next, we've got the Aussie Swiss franc pair, and this one's trading at 1.33 starting lots. And the profits is reasonably high at 1,400 with a drawdown of $283. I know what the numbers tell me is saying it looks good, but my gut is telling me that the lot size is still too big. So I'm going to override that and just reduce the lot size a little bit while I trade this on a live account. Even though I haven't had access to the Banker EA from Team Power for long, I've got quite a few questions in my YouTube comments from people saying, how's your live accounts going? And my answer has been, well, they're not going because I'm still demo trading, because we can't make decisions without data. And from the data that we've seen today, we've learned a whole bunch of information about whether we go short or long optimizations, and we've concluded that we're going to use long optimizations. And is the back test versus forward test results comparable? I'm pretty happy with it. As long as we're doing long optimizations, the forward testing results have been reasonably comparable, with the exception USD Japanese yen and New Zealand CAD had really big drawdowns, but from an overall probability perspective, that's okay as long as you're diversifying yourself into multiple strategies and multiple accounts, not just have everything in the one account. And next, how the strategies correlated. We've seen that sometimes you can have, for example, 2 Euro USD against the trend strategies, both being very similar. So we wouldn't have all of them in one portfolio. And you've seen an example of how I've built together good portfolios with the data, real live data from real trading. After a month of demo testing and I've done the analysis on the results, I'm going to build 3 portfolios on an Insta Forex Center account, and these are the set files I'll be using. I'm going to reduce the lot sizes in 2 of them because I'm a little bit uncomfortable with the large lot sizes provided by default. And I will be providing these set files to members of my community so they can benefit on how nerdy I am. My live accounts are already set up and copying to my Insta Forex set account. However, unfortunately, my optimized set files have expired. So what I need to do next is go and re-optimize, which is the topic of next week's video, which I will post to right here. Until then, there will be some other random YouTube video there. See you next week. Bye.